The United States Ski and Snowboard Association presents The Most Important People on the Hill, or How to Be a Gate Judge in 15 Easy Minutes, a production of the USSA Alpine Officials Education Program. A ski race requires many officials and workers to make it a fair and successful competition. There are the race committee, the competition jury, the start crew, the course maintenance crew, the timers, the calculators, and the race secretariat, to name a few. Once the race gets underway, however, the most important official of all is you, the gate judge. Also known as a course judge, or commonly, gatekeeper. You're the only ski official required to make immediate yes or no decisions based on what you see. Every sport has at least one official who must make immediate decisions. A ball or strike, offside or onside, in or fault, fair or foul, safe or out. In skiing, only you, the gatekeeper, does this. You make all the calls. You're the umpire. The success, particularly the fairness of the race, depends primarily on you. We, the race committee, will do our best to provide you with a course, the snow preparation, and the equipment, and will help you do your job. In this brief presentation, you'll be advised and/or reminded how to do it. But no two ski races are the same. Not all situations can be anticipated, and we're asking you to accept this critical responsibility with your full effort and attention from the first forerunner to the last hopeful also ran, to make your officiating as fair and precise as possible. Unfortunately, the gate judge's job description is an extremely cluttered one. He must have a thorough knowledge of the rules of correct passage. He must be on the course long before the race starts. He must prepare his materials. He must avoid all distractions and give 100% of his attention to the passing racer for a few moments, then immediately shift to other concerns. He must record accurately each of a couple of hundred racer passes. He must replace or repair gates or flags within the few seconds before the next racer comes. He must usually help in course maintenance in the rest of his brief time. He must frequently struggle to stay comfortable in difficult weather, and to top it off, he may have to support his decisions before the jury and in the face of instant replay. Regardless of the other duties, the gate judge's primary and most important mission is that of judge to decide correct passage or fault. In other words, safe or out, as each racer passes each of the gates assigned to you. What is correct passage? First, let's review the basic question. What is a gate? A slalom gate is defined by the imaginary line joining the points where two flagpoles enter the snow. In slalom, only these two poles are present. In downhill, Super G, and giant slalom, where double poles are used, the gate is defined by the line joining the two inner poles. Gates can be open, that is, at right angles to the slope or fall line of the course, as these last two, or they can be closed, also called vertical, that is, in the fall line, like this. In between, they're called oblique. In this slalom run, we see a mixture of all three types of alternating red and blue gates. In every case, the racer must cross the gate's imaginary line with both feet and both ski tips. The start and finish are technically not gates and do not count in the gate total for numbering. The racer may ski through all gates in any direction and in any order he wishes. There are no legally right or wrong ways, only faster or slower ones. Let's look at various options. The racer will usually take the most direct route as the fastest. But if there are hindering terrain variations, or if he gets off balance or slides too low, he may adapt to take a less obvious and less direct route. The following diagrams will discuss poles and gates utilized in alpine competition. Slalom gates are defined by two poles, while gates in the other disciplines are defined by four poles, two poles on each side of the gate. These diagrams use both single and double pole gates for the purpose of clearly demonstrating proper passage. Here is a single vertical or closed gate. The racer may pass through from either side. Similarly with two vertical gates, if close together, called a hairpin. The racer may legally pass in either direction. He could also put an extra turn between the gates and thus pass each from the same side. With a three-gate flush, again, either option is legal. When an open gate has been placed below a hairpin or flush like this, there's only one reasonable direction to ski the combination. But if the racer makes a mistake and enters the top gate from the other side, he can make a legal pass by looping or climbing back through, naturally at a considerable loss of time. Here's a somewhat similar situation corrected by climbing back. It would also be legal, although extremely rare, to enter the gate from one side, cross the line, and then exit from the same side. This requires a gate at the upper limits of width and a very acrobatic racer. Next, in a three-gate flush, the racer misses the middle red gate but climbs back and goes on. Let's look again. Note that he does not then have to pass through the bottom blue gate. He's already been through it once. At racing speeds, however, it's more likely that a racer who enters a combination wrong will completely omit a gate. He may not actually be aware of this or show any sign of trouble, so be alert to this possibility. This racer skis completely by the last closed gate. It's difficult to see here as the camera is moving with him too fast. But the gate judge should easily see it. In a straddle, the pole goes down between the racer's legs. In a gate just beyond a bump or knoll, the racer may be high in the air. This is legal, just like a football field goal or point after, if he passes through the extended plane of the gate line. All gates are marked by dye spots in the snow. This serves two purposes. First, it shows where to replace a pole which has been knocked away. Second, it provides a reference point for the gate judge. If he fixes his gaze on each dye spot in turn and concentrates on it as the racer's skis go by, he will not be diverted by motion or disappearance of the pole or other outside influence. He should have the mental image of a series of still snapshots, one of the dye spot of each turning pole. The poles are to guide the racer. The dye spots are to guide the gate judge. Along with the head judge, the gate judge should select a point that ensures your personal safety while affording a good vantage point to observe your assigned gates. Failure to call a fault is grossly unfair to all other competitors. If possible, yell "back" loudly enough to warn the racer that he is faulted. Benefit of the doubt goes to the racer, but if 70% sure and 30% doubt, call a fault. After having made the decision as to correct passage or fault, the next most important task is to record it unequivocally for later review by the jury. For over 20 years, the USSA has used mostly the card originally designed by and used for the Waterville Valley BBTS Ski Club in 1964. There are currently two models, one with blank spaces to write the bib numbers of every competitor, or fault-no-fault cards, and another card that records faults only. The USSA officials community currently recommends the fault-no-fault card for slalom and giant slalom, and the fault-only card for downhill and super G. Some cards will be